Hi and welcome to round number 8. In this game I was playing against a 2250 rated player and I started with e4 as in the most of the cases. He answered c5, which I expected, but then he surprised me playing e6. I had mainly prepared d6 stuff. So after e6 I was basically more happy than annoyed with this surprise, because this is the line I play with black all the time and I think I have a very good overview and a lot of options what I can play here. And I decided to go for the open Sicilian, and after knight c6, okay, knight c3, this is very usual. He played queen c7 and now white has really a very big variety of options, mainly bishop e3 and thereafter queen f3, which I played recently, thereafter queen d2, which is very reasonable. White can also play some slow positional systems with bishop e2 short castle. White can play g3 systems, and I decided to surprise him because I thought he might not be well prepared in some sidelines, so I played queen g3, queen to d3, sorry, which I also had been facing with black, and I think it can be quite dangerous if black is not well prepared. However, he found all the best moves and played knight f6, after which I played knight b5 and queen g3. This is the main idea, trading the queens, and if black would do that, he would be in huge trouble because he cannot cover this fork so easily. And I will have a good control of the dark squares in the center, and king d8 is of course very sad, and rook b8 is also quite a problem after bishop to f4, so this would be very bad. But black has only one move and he of course found it, which is d6. And now I try to just develop normally, and if he plays a6, I'm saying that he also has lost time with his queen, so I can also lose time with my knight. However, here I did not remember what the way to play this position was, and I should have continued f4, playing in the center, staying flexible, and after something like b5, there is nothing too big to worry about. I can keep the center under control, and white is a little better. However, I chose to start with bishop d3, which is not yet such a big mistake, but after b5 I castled, which is not ideal, because after h5 my queen is kind of stuck and he has some clear targets, playing h4, and my pieces are a bit clumsy. For example, after h3 he might go here anyway and knight e5 is coming, or he might even start with knight e5, but this looked kind of ugly to me and I didn't like to play this. Also, it's not so clear what I'm doing next, since having played h4, playing f4 would leave some holes on g3 after all, and I was not happy here. I decided to take and play a3, but now he could go with his pawn to h3 all the way down. And now I will have a long-term problem with my king, because there is some mating prospect on g2 and I always need to take care of this. So black is already better here, and I tried to defend here. It would be good, play the knight around, and maybe in the long term just increase the pressure on e4, or maybe try to eliminate this light square bishop and then try to put pressure on the g2 square. But white has not so much to hope for, because my pawn pushes, they would just weaken me further, and I already need to think about how to stay solid here. Instead he played bishop e7, I played rook e1, he played a5, trying to remove my defenders of the e4 pawn. And here I had an interesting idea, taking on f6, because I thought it's impossible to take here with the bishop, because then I can take, and I have a discovered attack. However, even this is playable for black. After king e7, he saves all his pawns, and even though the king is in the center, I cannot really attack it, and Black will finally trade queens, and in the end game he has all the central pawns, and it's not so easy for white to do anything. The central pawns, they are much more powerful than my pawns. I can not easily advance any of my pawns, so yeah, even this would have been possible. But instead he took with the pawn, after which his bishop is of course a bit misplaced. But it's still not easy for white, and I couldn't make, for example, queen e2 work because I thought rook b8, and then I had no clue how to increase the pressure, and sooner or later he will push b4 or push f5 and create some weaknesses. So I decided to regroup this knight, trying to exchange this bishop on c6 with knight e2, bringing the knight to the center. But he found a good response, f5, and now we trade bishop for bishop. And now, even though I was hoping that I'm better here, he was also playing quite well, and I could not prove anything. Here at the moment, I don't have a threat, I think. But after rook c8 and rook e1, now I have a threat, which is rook takes e6. Because his queen is attacked then, and if he takes, I have the intermediate rook e7, winning material, and only then I will take back the queen. So he needs to do something about it, but he found the best response, which is queen d5. Now all the stuff doesn't work because his queen is just protected, and after rook e6 he could just retake with the f-pawn and his material up. Taking the other way around doesn't work either, and in the game I thought I had a good idea with knight f5, threatening to take on e7. For example, let's say he's doing nothing. I can take e7, king takes, and I can take here, because if the pawn takes, I can take here and the e-pawn is pinned. If he takes with the queen, I have a queen versus two rooks and pawn up. So this should be a little bit better for white, even though I realized maybe my king is vulnerable and I'm not that much better. Yeah, it would still have been some little success. However, yeah, black is not waiting, and he found a very good move, which is rook c4, after which I don't have any advantage at all. And if I had foreseen this move, I might have played some waiting move like b3 and trying to play knight f5 next, but of course he has some ways there, but it might not have been that easy in time trouble. However, after this and rook takes c4, you can think about what black's answer will be after knight e7. Because if you just recapture, then there will be rook e6 again, and after pawn takes, I will take the queen. And if the queen takes, I'm a pawn up. So you need to come up with something, and he came up with something, which is rook e4, and I cannot take his queen, sadly, because I would be checkmated. So I needed to take here. I took with the queen and was still kind of hoping that I could do something in this endgame, because this pawn might be weak, but that's just a mis-evaluation. Basically, I should be happy with a draw here, because his central pawn mass will expand, and then I might even be worse. So yeah, that's something I mis-evaluated, and I tried to win here, bring my king to the center and try to exploit that his rook will need to stay passive, defending the h3 pawn, but he found a very good plan, trying to remove my rook from the fourth rank, and after this pawn will be safe. I tried to prevent this, and after rook f4, he cannot easily push my rook back, because the f5 pawn would drop, so he played king f6, and I played rook d4, trying to repeat the moves once, and he would allow the repetition, and I should take the draw and be happy with it, but I was too ambitious and I tried to play for win. But here I needed to realize that I cannot really activate any of my pieces. He has complete control over the position. I can just sit and wait, and that's why I offered a draw a few moves later. And if he wouldn't have played a4, he might have good winning chances, because he can just expand and maybe at some point play b4, and when my pawns are distracted, he will have a massive pawn mass in the center, and this can be very, very dangerous. However, he played a4, which gives away something of the advantage because he can no longer play b4 in the future, and it's much harder for him to create a pass pawn or open the position, and it might be just too close to win it, but still black is much better. He can advance in the center, and yeah, I will need to sit and wait and hope the best, try to defend all my weaknesses, and yeah, just a passive game for white. So yeah, I can be very happy about the draw here, because I have no hope any longer to be better, and I would just need to defend for a long time. So that's it for game number 8. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are new here, please subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.